Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm Will Ralston, president of SinglePoint. I'm here with Pablo Diaz of Direct Solar, the company we just acquired, and I'm super excited to welcome him to the SinglePoint team. Super excited to bring on the company and start integrating it. It's been a phenomenal growth story, and I just am very happy to have you here, Pablo. I look forward to sharing with the shareholders exactly what Direct Solar's been doing, your experience in the history in the solar industry, and what we can see for growth. So welcome again. And
thank you, appreciate that.
I would love to start with just a history of how you got into solar, what intrigued you to getting into solar, and what you think the future holds.
Sure, so the 2-minute version of it was I was in commercial real estate development some time ago. We built a sports academy at a golf resort and that was about 8 years ago, and they wanted a solar bid. At the time, solar is only a 10-year industry, so it's a fledgling. It's a brand new industry with it's maturing as we're currently living through the experience, right? At the time, there was it was the wild west. I got into it because we were bidding on the solar project for this sports academy we were building, and there's one thing led to another. Where we started focusing on solar, and our other business models we were working on just didn't have the same growth trajectory that solar did. But at the time, we were solar contractors, if you were, right? Licensed solar contractors. So if we've been a party to about 3,000 solar transactions, I would say about 2,200 of those we installed ourselves as the licensed contractor in Arizona, Nevada, New York. That was a treat. Texas, and a little bit of New Mexico. So the licensed contractor model, we know deeply, we understand it, but we also understand as this business industry is evolving, we're also seeing different segments of the industry mature. And as about 800 solar systems ago, we really looked at our business model, looked at the trajectory of the industry, and what is it that this industry needs. So to share that, I'm gonna module out the industry, if you will, right? There's the lending side of the solar industry. A lot of Wall Street money is coming into the solar residential space and commercial space for that matter, but really the residential solar space. The reason that is because the default rate on a solar loan is less than 1%. The reason that is because people are psychologically attuned to pay their electric bill, right? Like you don't even think about it. I need my electricity, I need lights. People don't pay their car payment before they don't pay their electrical bill. So a lot of money is going into the lending capacity, of the industry, which allows for 20-year loans with 3.99% interest rates. I mean, it's practically free money capital for a homeowner who wants to go solar.
Because you're already paying your electric bill.
You're already paying your electric bill.
So
right?
you're diverting that money towards paying the loan.
No matter what, you have that cost of living, right? That bubble of cost of living. So when you go solar, you're spending less of that money you were going to spend anyways for electricity, adding positive equity to your house, you're buying your electricity cheaper than you were from the utility company. So there's economic benefit. Really the solar proposals, they sell themselves. Like when a homeowner sees, I get all this for no money up front, yes. You just have to decide to go solar and we'll take care of everything else.
And that's what you became really good at, differentiating your company the first time around.
Correct. But when we really sat down and analyzed the model, the problem with growing with the contractor model is if we want to go to a new location, you got to get a warehouse. You got to stock the warehouse. You got to get trucks. You got to get electricity. Lots of infrastructure. Licensing takes months. I mean, it's a big investment. And every municipality has its own electrical installing codes. So you have to learn everything again. Slow to move as a contractor. Another huge problem is that every contractor can't have everything that any customer needs. So let me give you an example. As a lender, right? Let's say that you were gonna sign up a dealer. Well, every contractor, a dealer, can't have access to every lender in this industry because every lender has lending quotas. You need to bring X amount of business in order to stay on their platform. Hence, a contractor only has a few options to give someone a financing solution. And everybody has a different credit profile. So if there's 25 different lenders in the solar industry, each one has their own investment covenants, what they'll lend on, and it's not the same for everybody. One lender might lend to me, but not to you, and vice versa. So a contractor is limited in the lending options they can give to their customer base. Also, manufacturers also, as a contractor, you can't have every manufacturer at your disposal because manufacturers have quotas also. You need to sell X amount of my product to sell my product. On top of that, every contractor isn't built the same from a construction knowledge perspective. Some contractors don't like to do ground mounts. Some contractors don't like to do complicated electrical issues. Some contractors don't like to work on foam roofs. Some contractors don't do batteries. Every contractor is not built the same. So the normal model that you see in the industry now, 99.9% of sales, is a homeowner goes to a contractor and all he can acquire is what's in that contractor's box of goodies.
Yeah. What you get with that contractor.
With that contractor.
So now what Direct Solar is bringing that to kind of flip the model and make this not only easier for the homeowners, but also the contractors is...
Now we're a solar broker, right? So with the knowledge that we gained as a contractor, we built the infrastructure to be able to work with multiple contractors. We onboard contractors onto our platform. They love us because we bring them free business.
Yep. And how many contractors do you have now?
In any one region, let's just say, solar is regional, utility based, and in Phoenix, let's say, we have 4 or 5 or 6 contractors. In San Antonio, about 4 or 5 or 6 contractors. In Tampa, Florida, it's always, we want to have a minimum of 5 to 6 contractors so we can have every solution available to a customer base.
Perfect. And then one thing I'll hit on is this has also allowed you to go from operating in essentially 5 states that you mentioned earlier to being able to go nationwide very quickly, very efficiently, which really increases the growth. So the opportunity is huge there.
Absolutely.
Now we'll step back into, I guess, how Direct Solar is making it better for homeowners and contractors alike.
Yes, for sure. So now the model that we're creating, and homeowners love it because we're a free resource to them, right? We're bringing them the solution that when a homeowner wants to go solar, they know they want to go solar, but what does that really mean? There's so many different options. What's the right lender? What material do I need? Who's the right contractor? What's my right solution? We get all the information packaged from them. We get their information and we find them the right solution. We package it, we piecemeal it together. It's the rocket mortgage of solar. We're finding the solutions for the homeowner, bringing them their best options, and making it as efficient as a process for them and the contractor also, quite frankly, because they're getting free business, so they're loving us.
Well, they're not out having to do both sides of it now. They can do what they're good at, the contracting, the installs, and all of that. And Direct Solar can go out and get the clients, get the sales, do the education purposes for the client, and then pass them over to the contractor. Is that kind of the short, simple?
Yeah, it is. And actually, that's a good example of it. So from a contractor basis, as this industry has matured, the maturity level that we see with more contractors is that those that are getting larger and more sophisticated are realizing that their customer cost of acquisition and their time spent on that is not really translating for them in higher margins. So they outsource that as much as they can.
Yep.
But what is lacking in the solar industry is maturity on the sales side of the equation, if you will, right? You have little sales teams here and there, 2 or 3 man combo individuals that are trying to put something together. But for something that that we put together, where we have contractors in every region, it requires a lot of infrastructure, a lot of knowledge, and but it's a great solution for homeowners and contractors alike. So it's the scale possibility on it. We've been able to create some proprietary training software so we can enter a new market without actually having to go there. We don't have to be licensed like a contractor does.
Yeah. So you've got some online education technology.
Education technology.
That's
correct.
perfect, because that in itself is a major industry, right? And here we are being able to offer that to the individuals that we would be onboarding and training.
And one thing that we think is going to be a great union with SinglePoint is your access to the cannabis industry. One of the highest expenses that the cannabis industry experiences is their electricity costs.
Yep.
Solar is a fabulous solution to high energy costs. You want to increase margins? Great place right there. Because again, the capital's there in Wall Street. They want to fund these projects.
And they're funding cannabis projects very heavily.
Yep, very much so.
Yep.
So the capital's there. The contractors have the skill sets. We need us to help connect the pieces, connect the pies. So,
exactly.
So as a solar broker, we'll be able to bring in capital into a marketplace that really needs it. How much of better than anybody else what the cost of electricity is on the grows, right?
Very expensive.
Yeah.
It's a very high intense utility bill when you're not only cooling plants to make sure they're growing in optimal conditions, but also the lighting and all the different elements that go into, what's really become an art these days in growing cannabis.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's trying to grow the highest quality, the best quality, maybe maximum potency, and that's a science.
Mm-hmm. And also, to round up about our model right now, we're focused mainly on the residential space, but new regions come online, every month practically. Chicago didn't have a solar industry per se last year. Late last year.
And now it's one of your hottest markets.
That's one of our hottest markets. They brought on, the state of Illinois brought on what's called an SREC rebate. Essentially, homeowners are getting big $15,000 checks from the state of Illinois to go solar. So the federal government is giving you 30% of the cost of the system. Just roughly speaking, state of Illinois is giving you 35% of the cost of the solar system. Homeowners are practically having the whole system paid for through subsidies, which they don't even know about. So it's, we're out there to educate the public, help them come with the best solutions in solar and bringing business to a great industry that, helps the environment and creates a lot of new jobs too.
That's phenomenal. So tell me a little bit about the last 12 months. I believe I saw just over $1.5 million in revenue. It's really been a quickly growing industry because direct solar itself hasn't been around more than 14 months per se, but you've really just seen the growth.
Absolutely.
Really compound.
Absolutely. This, our model, I will say, is new to the industry. When you have an industry that's only 10 years old, it's inevitable that you're going to, move into the space, especially if you're pioneers. And this team here that I see is a pioneering team. We're looking at new exciting industries that'll help, that are positive for the environment. But the growth trajectory on it is phenomenal when you look at the numbers. I mean, I think we did, the solar industry did 187 billion last year. And the penetration level on the residential space is less than 1.5%. I mean, it's an untapped market.
Yeah.
Cities are barely coming onto solar on board. Like Atlanta is barely moving into solar. Tons of locations haven't even gotten the capacity to go solar yet. So it's an untapped market. It's ready for maturity in the different modules of solar, and that's exactly what we're bringing to the space.
Yeah. And what you just shared with me a few moments ago is, February, it looks like you are going to surpass $225,000 in revenue just in February.
350.
350?
350,
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. So that's a phenomenal growth. You take that to the 1.5 million you did in the last 12 months, and here you just did 350 in 1 month.
And it's winter, so as soon as it starts getting a little hotter,
yeah,
those numbers
electricity
are really
bills start going up.
Yeah.
Homeowners and looking at solar start to get really excited again and say, hey, it's time to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean,
especially with the new Green Deal coming out, it's on top of mind for everybody right
Sure.
now. No matter what happens there, people are thinking about solar. It's piquing their interest again. And we see that, being a very big positive for us, right?
Absolutely. The paradigm has shifted relative to our alternative energy, right? It's on everybody's, if they disagree or agree on where they sit on the aisle, it's still there. Like, everybody's thinking about it. Climate change,
Yeah.
It's a reality that we all live with. There's only a few ways to affect climate change, and lowering the carbon footprint is it.
And think about, I'm almost positive Tesla shipped more cars than anybody last year. So it's got to be on everybody's mind that, alternative energy is the next thing. And that's just proven with all the electric cars that are coming on board. And you see Rivian getting huge investments because they know electric is the next way to go.
This is what I tell people all the time. We are literally going through an energy transformation from older technology, fossil fuels, to new technology, alternative energy. It's when we do these great transformations and one technology base to another that the most new millionaires are made. I mean, historically speaking, if you look at economic data, that's when the newest millionaires, the most amount of millionaires are made, when you go from one old technology to a new technology. So right now is the chance, right now is the opportunity. We're pioneering into a new model that's proven to be successful. And we have the right team together. I really believe that.
I agree.
So, at this point, we just need with the injection of our partners here and everything they're bringing to the equation, we just have to fuel the machine.
Fantastic. Well, I feel like we've had a very good conversation here, one that hopefully has transcended to our investors, and they can see the opportunity that SinglePoint and direct solar has going on. We're very excited for this, and if it makes sense, should we touch on AI Live? I'm very excited about that technology, but it's interesting.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Okay.
I want to. Yes. Let's finalize it. Let's finalize it. But in short, it's a lead generation platform that we've been working on. That once we get all the kinks worked out, we can bring it to the whole industry. So
Perfect. So we'll be using artificial intelligence to help generate an entire new segment of business for the solar industry.
AI live transfers.
All right. Thanks again for tuning in. This is Will Ralston, president of SinglePoint, OTC, ticker symbol SING. Again, I'm here with Pablo Diaz of Direct Solar. Look out for SinglePoint this year. We're making a big push, and we're looking forward to showing that through increased shareholder value and the overall valuation of SinglePoint. Thanks for tuning in, and go Sing.